everyone. My name is Dr. Adeyemi of the Department of Educational Foundations, Faculty of Education, National University of Nigeria, Abuja. I welcome you into EDT812 class, Management of Educational Resource Center. The topic we are going to discuss today is still on the concept of management. We continue from where we stopped in our last meeting. Today we'll look at the values of management, classifications of management. Is management an art or a science? And also discuss the schools of management thoughts. Come along at the end of the interaction. I'm sure you will enjoy the activity. Thank you. Yes. Welcome into EDT 812 class, Management of Education Resource Center. My name remains the same, Dr. Adeyemi Adedapo of the Department of Educational Foundations, Faculty of Education, National Open University of Nigeria, Abuja. Today, we are going to discuss the concept of management. We need to continue from where we stopped during our last interaction. We'll look at the values of management, classification of management, is management an art or science? And also discuss schools of management thought. Come along with me. The intended learning outcomes. At the end of this interaction, you should be able to enumerate the salient values of management. You should be able to classify management as an art or a science. You should be able to discuss the schools of management thought. Values of management. Values of management. Management has values. A value is the importance we attach to something. So a value is importance we attach to something. So we studied management in order to keep pace with the environment. To keep pace with the environment is one of the values of management. The environment of management is a dynamic one. That is, it is always undergoing changes. It is never static. So the practice of yesterday becoming obsolete today. So to be abreast with these changes demands thorough planning, plan execution, control and evaluation. All these are more demanding careful thinking and analysis so that we may not make mistakes in our decision. We also study management in order to be able to combine the factors of production. So the resources of any organization include finance, human and material resources, information, and also time resource. So management has to work out the portion from each of these resources and combine them technically in the desirable proportion in order to get an output. So there should be no wastage. It should be noted that the need for management is not only for effectiveness, but also for efficiency. So consequently, efficiency is the productive use of organizational resources is one of the strong values of management. So also we study management in order to get the best from human resources. So getting the best from human resources, of all the resources, only the human resources have a consciousness. But human beings are unpredictable. No one knows what is going on in the minds of another person. Only God knows. This is so because the minds of man is like a black box. So the physical appearances and expressions can be deceptive. So we'll be smiling outwardly, but what is going on inside there is an accumulation of venom to be sparked on the same person who are smiling at. So these same human beings whose behaviors we cannot predict play important roles in an organization. As managers, they are creative and problem solvers, taking vital decisions necessary for the survival of the organization. So these are the reasons why we study management. So in order to keep pace with the environment, in order to combine the factors of production, and also to get the best from human resources. Also, we need to discuss classification of management. How do we classify management? Is management an art or management a science? Argument sometimes arises as to whether management can be classified as an art or as a science. So in order to address this issue, we need to know the features of science so that we can eventually ask ourselves whether management has these features. Thereafter, we also need to consider what an art is and then find out whether management has any behind in being called an art. Yes. So characteristics of science. Characteristics of science. The essential characteristics of science is that knowledge is based not on emotions or sentiments, but on systematic measurement and objectivity. This has arising through the application of scientific method to such an extent that whoever follows the same method will ultimately arrive at the same conclusion. So the scientific method itself concerns the determination of facts, which is carried out through the observation of events or things. So scientists classify the facts so as to be able to analyze them objectively. So scientists formulate hypotheses and tested them to be able to have laid down principles. These are known. These are facts about scientists. Yes. Characteristics of science. Conclusion as to management and science. The above scientific procedures of making principles and theory is applicable to management. In other words, management principles and theories are also derived through similar manner. So to this extent, it is safe to say that management belongs to the realm of science but with a qualification. And the qualification is that it is not an exact science like mathematics, physics, or chemistry. So it is a social science, and managers, that is those who practice management, are known together with management scholars as social scientists. So then management is a science. So we can classify such management under science as social science. So what is an art? Let us look at the other side. It's management and art. The application of principles is what is referred to as art. And this is common to many professions, like teaching, medical, engineering. So these are common to them. So the manager also draws from the body of knowledge which has been accumulated scientifically when solving management problems. So at this juncture, we need to ask these questions. What roles would you ascribe to management in an organization? So I will advise you pause the video for a while. I go through the activity. What roles would you ascribe to the management in an organization? Welcome back. Now, let us discuss schools of management thoughts. We need to discuss schools of management thought. So, schools of thoughts contributed to the development of management, such as the such schools include: one, the empirical case study school. So this approach to management is taken by scholars who identify management as the study of experience, followed by efforts to learn from the experience and then transfer the knowledge to practitioners and students. So typically this is done through a case study approach or through the study of decision making. So that is why we refer to this as the empirical or case study school. So this school of thought believes that by analyzing the experience of successful managers or the mistakes of poor managers, we somehow can learn about applying the most effective management techniques. And we make reference to them. So here, similar thing happened, or something happened. So by so doing, one can search for what to use, what methods to employ in solving or in an identify problem, or through the study of decision making. This school of thought also has advantages and disadvantages that we can refer to as limitations. But let me just so believe that any method that will make this to be realized and effective should be encouraged. So the technique used in successful cases can be used by future managers for further references. So it is good, but at the same time, the drawback in the case study or empirical approach is that, unlike law, management is not a science that is based on precedents, and future situations looking exactly like the past ones may not occur, unlike law. So as a result, with this now, We also have another school, the interpersonal behavior school. So this interpersonal behavior school takes note of the psychological factors causing a change in human behavior in organized groups under a given situation. So this one is based upon the fact that management involves getting things done through people, and therefore management must be centered on interpersonal relations. That is, people should know why the individual is behaving the way he does. So this means that the focus is on the individual and his or her motivations as a human being. So human relation is seen as an art which the manager has to practice. Also, there are advantages and disadvantages on this interpersonal behavior school. So, major disadvantage is even though interpersonal behavior is important to management, believe that it can hardly be said that it covers the entire field of management. So there are still other important areas which this school of thought has not covered. That is for interpersonal behavior school. Also, we have a group behavior schools. The approach to management being heavily sociological in nature. That's what the study of sociology does. There's this approach. So it identifies the nature of the cultural relationship of various social groups and attempts to show them as an integrated system. So the spiritual father of this school was the late Chester Barnard, who developed the theory of cooperation. That is the group behavior school. So the focus of this school of thought is on the study of the organization as a cooperative or collaborative system. A social system is a unit or entity consisting of various social subsystems called groups. So the group also have what we can refer to as advantages and also disadvantages. It has to do with limitations. And also we have another school of thought, which has to do with the decisions theory school. So decision theory approach concentrates on the rational decisions theory, so which refers to selection of a suitable course of action from various possible alternatives. So this approach may deal with decisions itself with the person or organizational group who makes the decision or with the analysis of the decision process. So also advantages and disadvantages what in respect of this school too. And also we have the communication and then communication theory, the communication center school. So in this school of thought, the manager is looked upon as the communication center. This means that the activities concerning the nature and practice of management are all centered on the need to have an effective communication system, where the manager is at the center of that system. So the knowledge and skills of managing are within the flow of information. So without the flow of information freely in an organization, management will be handicapped. So that is exactly what this school of thought is telling us. You only have the mathematical and mathematical or management science schools, and then the operational school. So these schools of thought believe that we have learn that management is an important aspect in any organization where tasks are to be performed by human resources daily. So the need for proper organization of non-human resources in an organization has been also, we try to stretch them. Also, I've been adequately informed about the controversy that usually generates when the concept of management is being discussed. So, in respect to that of the school of management thoughts. So, next to this is the empirical or case study of discussed this, or their limitations, and then as well as now let us okay, the group behavior we have also discussed this one. Addition theory, we have also discussed this one. And in summary, we have learned that management is an important aspect in an organization. Like I said, where tasks are to be performed and the human resources there. So the need for proper organization of human resources is an organization. So there's need for proper organization. So thank you for your attention. We meet during the uh, live class. So come up with all questions. Thank you for your attention.